All right, let's talk percent problems. I feel like a lot of people wanted to review these. So let's just start with the simplest kind of percent problem where you have to find a percent of something. So let's say you need to find 73% of 25. Okay, so the most efficient and easiest way to find percentages of numbers is to use what I like to call the multiplication method. Multiplication method. And that is where you turn your percent into a decimal. So remember, we divide by 100. You turn your percent into a decimal. You multiply, because if you remember, the word of means you're going to multiply. And voila, you can find 73% of 25 by using the multiplication method like this. So we're going to multiply 73 hundredths times 25. So if you'll notice, I did not put that 0 in front of my decimal because I actually don't need it. Okay, 36, placeholder 6, 14, boop, boop. I'm going to add these together. Okay, so I need to put my decimal in now. So I've got 1, 2 place values behind my decimal in my problem. So I need to have 2 in my answer. So just like that, we have arrived at our answer. So 73% of 25 is 18 and 25 hundredths. Wabam. Okay, so that's the easiest way to solve percent problems that look like this, where you have to find the percent of a value. All right, so let's move on to a different type of percent problem where you're actually not given the percent. So these problems look like this. 25 is what percent of 2, well, actually, let's make it a bigger number, is what percent of 400. Okay, so the key word here is what percent. That means you don't know what the percentage is. So I like to use the proportion method for this. And if you remember, is over of became kind of our go-to. So 25 is the part and of 400 is the whole. So we want to know 25 out of 400, like if 25 out of 400 people got food poisoning from Taco Bell, what percent would that be? We're going to set up a proportion, so we put the equal sign, and since we don't know the percent, I'm going to put it as x over 100, okay? Now, when you go from here, you have the option, you can simplify this fraction first, or you can just go straight into cross multiplying. Wabam, wabam. I think I'm gonna do that. So you end up with an algebraic equation. So 400 times what number is 2500? Okay, so we're going to do our division. Boop, boop. Okay, so 400 doesn't go into 2, it doesn't go into 25, it doesn't go into 250. So we're gonna have to think, okay, 400 into 2000. Well, I know, 400 times 5 is 2000. Okay. So I do that. I have a remainder. So 400, I did something wrong. Oh my gosh, do you catch what I did wrong? Look at that. I can actually get even closer. I can do 6 because 6 times 4 is 24. Oh, look at that. Okay, there we go. Much better. So 400 goes into 1,000 2 times. The closest I'm gonna get is 800. I subtract, wabam, and aha, there we go. 400 can go into 2,000 perfectly 5 times. Oh, I'm gonna squeeze it in all the way at the bottom. Wabam, 0. So what percent here we go. We don't even need to move the decimal because this gives me my value over 100, which gives me my percent. So 25 is what percent of 400? It is 6.25%. Okay, cool. All right, let's do one last type of percent problem. And these percent problems look like this. So let's do 15 is 30% of what number? So you're given the part, you're given the percent, you just don't know what the whole is, like what 15 is out of how many. So again, I like to use the proportion method. Is over of, we're gonna set up our proportion. So 15 is the part. We don't know of what. We don't know what that whole number is. So I'm gonna make that the variable, and we are given the percent. So I'm gonna write 30% like that. And now we can you can cross multiply, or again, you can simplify if you want. I'm just gonna go right into cross multiplication. So 30x equals 1500. I'm gonna divide to see how many times 30 goes into 1500. So 30 goes into 150 5 times. And if we drop the 0 down, I don't even need to continue. There we go. 15 is 30% of what number? 15 is 30% of 50. So 50 is your answer. All right, if you have any other questions about percent problems, please call into office hours. I feel like I think we should do this. 12 is what percent of 48? Okay, we can do this really quickly. Is over of, I wanna try and give you a problem that doesn't involve crazy decimal and multiplication. So 12 is the part, 12 is what percent of 48? So 12 is the part, 48 is the whole, and what percent? The percent is missing. So x over 100, I'm gonna go ahead, wabam, wabam. I can cross multiply, so 48x equals 1200. I'm gonna see how many times 48 goes into 1200. Now, if you see that you're having trouble doing working with big numbers like this, you can absolutely simplify these fractions at the beginning. So if I come over here and if I were to simplify before all of this, I could actually simplify 12 over 48 to 1/4. Oh my gosh, that's gonna save us so much time. See, if I just simplified, I mean, I can still get to where I'm gonna be, but we could save a lot of time if we simplified. All right, I got distracted. Let's go back to here. Okay, that is 4. Let's see, 48 into 240. All right, I'm gonna guess it's times 5. Yes, all right, there we go. Wabam. So 12 is what percent of 48? It is 25%. Okay, so you just learned 2 methods, the multiplication method and the proportion method. So let me know if you have any questions, if anybody is watching.